Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures. It's Friday, which means once more it's time for some obscurities in literature, if you want to call art literature. But it's a book, and it's a big ol' honkin' book, as you can see by the large girth of pages it has. Actually, this is a really cool book. This is The Art of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So, growing up, two main things our family collected when we were kids, all three of us boys. He-Man, number one for myself, and G.I. Joe. Those were the big collecting lines that we consistently played with growing up. Yes, I may have dabbled now and then in Transformers, but both of my brothers were far more into that than me. He-Man was my jam growing up, and I had just about everything. I mean, I was buying He-Man stuff for a long time. I think part of it is, I've always had a big soft spot for the fantasy stuff. Very Joe Kubert looking Barry Windsor Smith style Conan art, which obviously was a big influence. Very Frazetta in its style. And this book really kind of chronicles everything from the early sketch work here all the way through to the various resurgences and updated TV shows. And with Cool Mini and Archon both making board games based on the Masters of the Universe, I figured this would be a cool book to take a look at. And I mean, a lot of times we don't get to see the behind the scenes artwork like this, and it's very cool that they kept most of it around. Sadly, I always felt that a lot of the art, especially in the comics and stuff that used to be inserted with the figures, especially those early ones, just never matched the poses of the model figures. I was going to say models. Characters. It just was a bit disappointing. Like, Merman always looked cool in the books, I thought. Not so much on the show. And the toy was always a bit disappointing. Same thing with Beastman. He was big, he was furry, he was hairy. But, I mean, if you're familiar with the He-Man models, they kind of all had the same exact body for the most part, or Stratos with his, cool feathery wings, at least in the art, and then they were like those clip-on cheesiness. Cool Castle Grayskull. And it's interesting to also see that a lot of this work, a lot of this stuff actually shows back up later on, some of these unused ideas. Yes, I've got piles of minis just laying around right here, sitting next to me. Some of these, I believe, were like plastic kits, like actual model kits. Ooh, Mosquitor. I had Mosquitor when I was a kid. And this guy, his weird bendy arms. Modulok. Precursor of the Rock Lords. I know my brother had most of these guys. I want to say it was just this one and the red guy. I don't think there were any other modular guys that were released. It's interesting as we get into the actual designs of a lot of the toys. So again, if you like a lot of design work, I think this book is absolutely a treasure trove. And if I'd had this when I was a kid, I'd be like, I have this and this and this and this. I did not, however, ever recall owning an actual Horde Trooper. I had most of the others. Good times here. God, there were some ugly He-Man vehicles. Go King Hiss. I gotta say, I like a lot of the updated ones from the 2003 show. I remember this ad. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember. I remember seeing that run in the newspaper, and I don't know if these ever saw the light of day. It's kind of glary there. Funny thing is, check out the name of who was behind the redesigns. Bruce Timm of Batman fame. Harlequin fame, if you want to get really particular. Unproduced toy designs. Packaging art. Is this one? I know we had posters of some of this stuff growing up. The classic mini comics. There's interviews interspersed throughout the book as well. She-Ra, Princess of Power. Funny story is there's a photo I know my family has somewhere of myself posing with She-Ra at Universal Studios when we were kids. And another fun fact, we went and saw He-Man on ice or on skates. There was a live performance. And I know we had our picture taken with the elephant guy. I don't remember how it was done, if it was on skates or on ice, but I know we saw it. Freaking workout. Interesting, you can see here the storyboard art. Now this is kind of a fun little thing. They include a little animation cell. You can slide it around, and you can see the blinds there through the... Just a fun little thing. How they always reused the cells. Good old Beastman running pose. Oh, this book is so heavy and cumbersome. I will admit to watching the original She-Ra show. I tried to talk my daughter into watching the new one, but she just wouldn't jump at it. Here we go, the posters. I know we had a bunch of these. I know my brother had one of these in his room. Mr. Percival had... That's from the movie. That's Blade from the movie. I recognize that guy. Where's the one he had? It was one of these that had... That's the one right there. This adorned his wall for years. So yeah, I'm calling it out, Percival. I always liked it. Was it mine originally? Snout Spout. That's who we had our photo taken with. We have a photo somewhere in our family of Snout Spout. True story, my most favorite He-Man figure right here. Tongue Lasher. I love that purple color. Gecko style. Good old Scareglow. We still have Scareglow laying around somewhere. Rattler was a cool one too. I like the colors on him. Clam Champ. Good old Fisto. His friends. We get into the He-Man comics. I mean, see, there's just a ton of stuff. And I mean, I'm skipping pages even. Then we get into the motion picture chapter. Gwildor! Earl Norm painted that? Ralph McQuarrie designs. Now that's interesting. William Stout working in here as well. I mean, you can't knock McQuarrie designs. I was not aware of that myself. I probably was and haven't looked at this in so long. Skeletor Air Centurions designed by McQuarrie. That's pretty cool. Claudio Mazzoli. That name sounds familiar as well. The artwork looks familiar too. I'm going to have to go dig that out. I don't remember him looking that cool in the movie. We get into the 90s series, which I was never a big fan of. It definitely played up more of the sci-fi element. When you get into the early 2000s stuff. Very J. Scott Campbell looking artwork by the Four Horsemen. It looked cool. Just by the time this came out, I was past my days of collecting stuff. It did look cool. I can recall seeing a few episodes here and there. We get into all this stuff in the back here. Things that never were produced. You have this ridiculously gigantic... These are the modern Four Horsemen sculpted versions, at least as of the time of this book getting printed. There were a lot. I don't think I saw the bulk of them. Some of them were available in stores, and a lot were available direct online. That's kind of cool. The artwork for the stickers from Castle Grayskull. I had a Castle Grayskull. I did not have a Snake Mountain, unfortunately. Get into a bunch of the maps. Just all kinds of stuff. Darwin Cook art. Concept work in the back. Looks like a Asian MMORPG style artwork. So, I mean, just a lot of stuff here. Cool book. Definitely, if you're interested in the Masters of the Universe stuff, I think it's definitely worth a look-see. Considering how quickly I flipped those pages and glanced through it, there's a lot on offer here. I think that the interviews as well actually offer a lot of insight. So if you grew up with He-Man and his friends, I definitely would recommend this if you can give it a find for a reasonable price. I'll put a link to Amazon. I haven't even checked it myself, but maybe we'll get lucky and it'll still be in print. So hopefully, if it is, you're able to get a copy. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures. Saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.